my preparation for Sonic Mania, I played through the classic Sonic titles, Sonic's 1, 2, 3, and Knuckles. But I can't help shake the feeling like I've forgotten about one of them. Oh my god, Sonic 3D, of course! Truly a masterpiece like this doesn't come along every day. Sonic 3D, otherwise known as Sonic 3D Blast, is... Wait, that wasn't it? Well, I mean, I suppose I could have spoke about Mean Bean Machine, but how was I supposed to know Mania was gonna reference that? Joke over? Joke over. Now, growing up, I never had a Mega CD. In fact, I barely knew anyone that did. So, back in the day, Sonic CD was a complete mystery to me. That was until I got the Gems collection. This was years later, after I had practically mastered the 4 original games on the Sega Mega Drive. So I got to experience a brand new Sonic game exactly in the style I wanted years later. And man, was I disappointed. Let me explain what I mean, because Sonic CD is different. Having played the originals so much, I got used to certain things. Level design being a certain way, the spin dash being a certain way. When you factor in all that stuff, going into Sonic CD is kind of weird. The pacing just felt off, with Sonic himself and especially with the levels. At least this is what I thought back in the day when I played it on the Gems collection. Now I don't know if the version of the game on the collection is different in its feel in any way. Maybe it was the fact I was using a PlayStation 2 controller could have made it feel weird, I don't know. But I do want to say this, in the forms that you can currently play Sonic CD, my opinions are far higher now than they were back then. And that's because CD was one of the first games to get the Christian Whitehead treatment, a brand new, fully updated engined version of Sonic CD, which is the version I actually want to talk about, or to just in general use the footage from that version as a vessel to explain what I feel about CD in general. The original Sonic CD came out in 1993, with the remake coming out in 2011. In it, you play as Sonic. I know. Bet you weren't expecting that plot twist, eh? To stop Robotnik from doing some timey-wimey stuff to mess up the future. Yep, we have on our hands a story about time travel. And boy, is this game centered around that entirely. The game's core feature is time travel during gameplay. The ability to bounce between past, present, and future while playing the stages. Now in writing, pretty interesting concept. In practice, I mean, not really. Okay, I'll address this first. I don't particularly enjoy the time travel mechanic. I'm not saying it's bad, I just feel that some things suffer because of the choice to do this, and also because of the choices made surrounding the mechanic of going through time has also affected the rest of the game. So let's talk about how to travel through time. You have to find a particular signpost which either says future or past, then begin to run and maintain a consistent speed for a certain amount of time to trigger the effect. In doing so, it warps you to a different version of the same level in the past or future of whatever era you're currently in. Okay, well, why would you want to do this? Well, in your attempt to make a good future and stop Robotnik, you need to go back to the past and destroy these machines, which I assume are creating badniks out of the animals and eventually taking over the land. Or since the thing is only active in the past, maybe it's some sort of teleportation device for the badniks. And since its main purpose is in the past, it means you can only destroy it in the past. Man, going to the past to affect the present sure would be useful. I think I might have gone a bit too far. Okay, so here's some of the problems I have. To be able to travel through time, you need to have consistent speed. These levels rarely feel like they're made to accommodate that. Now, there are some sections where 2 springs will bounce you back and forth, and those are perfect moments to travel through time. But sometimes that just isn't available, and trying to do it legitimately can be so annoying, especially considering if you're just about to make it, but then lose all of your speed, the effect to travel through time is gone. So you best hope you've plotted your route accordingly or have found one of these loops. On the flip side, there are annoying times where the level is actually somewhat automated and you accidentally picked up one of the signposts you didn't want and are forcibly flung into the future or past you didn't want. That has happened to me far too many times and I want to admit. So how else has this affected the gameplay? Well, because you're looking for something specifically to destroy, you actually can backtrack pretty much to almost the very beginning of a stage. These are open levels. These aren't straightforward linear stages. Some people are really into that. but often when I hear complaints about level design in CD, I'd often attribute that to the fact that it lacks a certain flow, a sort of smoothness to the level that we're used to seeing in the more linear designs. So if anything, a bit more like Sonic 1 than like Sonic 2, which, since the open level design does actually accommodate for the overall goal of the game, I can understand why people like it and dislike it. I'm kind of in the middle, though I prefer the level design of, say, Sonic 2. To me, CD's levels are passable. What I will say I'm impressed with is the scope of what the time travel does to the levels. Each stage is actually 4 different levels. I mean, they're the same one slightly altered, but each one has a past, bad future, and good future variant. That's pretty damn cool, actually. Each with its own small tweak to the music it has for the stage as well. Even more so, destroying those machines in the past affects what the stage is like in the future, reducing the amount of badniks, for example. And I mean, that's cool, but as long as you beat the stage with 50 rings, you don't have to explore for these machines at all, because there is a second way to achieve the good future. And that way is the special stages. Beat one of these and you get a time stone. Collect all the time stones and you've basically beaten Eggman. It kind of makes the exploration part, trying to find all the machines, completely redundant in my eyes. I mean, yeah, more options is nice, but if I can just do this, I'm probably gonna just do this. I'll talk about the special stages in a moment, because much like I did with the original Sonic video, I want to go over some things about Sonic CD. Mainly my favorite level, my least favorite level, favorite boss, least favorite boss, the final boss, and the special stages. My favorite level has to go to Quartz Quadrant Zone, and that's because of 2 main reasons. It feels more like a standard Sonic level. Conveyor belts and platforms leading into paths that you can run along, and it just feels better. But most importantly for me, aesthetic reasons. I love the way this level looks. I don't know why, but I've always been a big fan of the use of gemstones. Also, I really enjoy the choice of color. Now, as for stages I dislike... Oh, Wacky Workbench can die in the deepest pits of hell. I hate this stage. It wins the award for my least favorite classic Sonic stage, period. And like I always say with stuff like this, if you enjoy the stage, more power to you, but there is nothing you can say to convince me otherwise. I've played Sonic CD enough, I can beat Wacky Workbench pretty easy, but that does not erase years of headaches caused by this level. Its main gimmick? Minding your own business. As soon as you hit the floor, you're going straight up. What's that? Moving platforms above that bouncy floor, which are kind of awkward to jump on, and some of them make you spin without you realizing, causing you to lose your balance and not get enough forward momentum to get past the floor. Up you go, bitch! Gotta walk your way down just to try it again. You know what? I'm glad the time stone ending exists to be able to get the good future, because I don't even want to start thinking about where the machines even are on these stages. Whew. Sorry, just I had a bit of history with this one. Music's pretty good though. Okay, so let's talk about bosses. This game handles bosses very, very, very differently, whereas usually it would be a boss with a gimmick and you'd hit it multiple times. This one, alright, get behind him and 1, 2, 3, oh, he's done. Wow. Okay. Sonic CD likes to present you with bosses that give you kind of like a trial. If you beat this test, you are worthy to continue, Sonic. So it does make it quite difficult to pick my favorite boss, though I am probably going to have to go with the race against Metal Sonic because, well, Metal Sonic is my favorite character from the Sonic franchise. And I mean, yeah, it's really fun. It's popular for a reason. You race Metal Sonic and try to avoid all the bullshit, and that's pretty much it. But man, my least favorite goes straight to Collision Chaos because this pinball, whatever the hell's going on here, no, none of that. The physics just feel off, and also the projectiles that he drops down. Damn it. Damn! It's just really frustrating, and I do not enjoy it. I would rather play Sonic Spinball than this. And as for the final boss, it's interesting. It's probably the most normal fight in the game, but it's not like grandiose and epic like some of the other final bosses in the Sonic games have been. You just kind of beat him and go on your way. Even Sonic 1's final boss felt a little bit more urgent. I mean, you get rings in the final stage for this. That's just weird. And of course, last but not least, the special stages. Now, these are in a bizarre spot for me because I really like them, but man, can they be frustrating. So the idea of these is that you're running, as you can see, and you have to destroy all of the UFOs within in the arena. You have a limited time to do so, there's some obstacles on the stage, and go. The UFOs move as well, so you have to kind of intercept, which can be a problem, especially when they have darty movements in the later stages. What doesn't help is I feel like the hitboxes on these things are garbage. Look at this, I practically phased through it. Hitting the water or any hazards on the track will make you lose time very quickly. They do offer you a saving throw with another UFO spawn that gives you more time if you go below 20 seconds, but you still have to hit that one. Things will be a little tricky at the start, especially in the later stages, but I got used to them pretty fast, and for the most part, I can pretty much beat them first try now. Most of my negative experience with the special stages were in the original version, where they ran about 15 FPS. I wouldn't rate these anywhere near Blue Spheres, but they're definitely better than the Half Pipe. And I mean, those are pretty much my thoughts on Sonic CD. I'll always remember it as the game that has the very, very, very inferior version of the Spin Dash, and added a move which was never used again because it's completely pointless, the Super Peel Out. I feel like the only reason it works in CD is because the Spin Dash is so garbage. Oh, sorry, was garbage. The remake allows you to use both, actually, the original and the Sonic 2 style. But I will also remember it for trying to be unique. And although it missed the mark for me, I know a lot of people that would legitimately say it's their favorite of all the classics. Some even say of all time. It does have a certain charm to it, which I feel like the intro cinematic and the ending cinematic add to that. And of course, before I go, I should probably mention the age-old debate, because the original versions of this game had different soundtracks depending on region. And although I do legitimately rock both the soundtracks, I love them both, I feel like that is an answer in which people will most likely take to avoid people in the comments being like, "Shun the disbeliever!" Not gonna lie, I think there are more songs in the US version that I prefer over the Japanese. But I do play both, I think it just depends on what the mood is. So yeah, those were my thoughts on Sonic CD. I would love to know what your thoughts on those categories are too. What's your favorite stage, or what's your favorite boss? And where would you rate Sonic CD in the classics? But until next time, thank you for watching Pixelated. What? You didn't want to know about Sonic CD? Sonic Spinball. Alright. So, what can I say about Sonic Spinball? Well, it's... Hey guys, massive shout out to my Patreon supporters. It really means the world to me that you support what I love doing, and I hope that I make the show worthwhile. And if you guys want to support, then link it in the description as well. There's a few perks for various things, but even just $1 is extremely helpful. And I hope you liked today's video. If you did, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button and the bell if you want to go that extra mile. I've made other Sonic videos if you want to check those out as well. And if you want to check out some live stream stuff, I also have my Twitch available in the description as well. But I'll see you guys next time.